Today we're doing a video on cocktail mashup. This is a cocktail video idea that came to us from a viewer. Somebody had seen a whole bunch of mashups going on Instagram and then like texted me like, hey, what would you do as far as this mashup? Maybe a mashups video would be fun. And cocktail mashups are just a really fun way to create cocktails in general. You can take a couple of cocktails that have flavor buddy ingredients, put them together and create something new, complex, and amazing. So today we're gonna be making 3 different cocktails, all of which are mashups of other cocktails. Today's episode is sponsored by ourselves. One of the most important things about cocktails is their presentation. And your garnish game can really make or break that presentation. So Marius and I decided that we wanted to start making some dehydrated fruit. Not only are they beautiful to look at, they're pretty long lasting, and they're functional garnishes. All of our citrus are sourced locally, and this is a really good way to help the channel. The garnishes are made in small batches. They're essentially made to order. So head to the shop and no coupon code needed because they're amazingly priced and it helps the channel. The Wisconsin Royale is a cocktail that I dreamed up. I had this idea for a video called Make It a Royale. Basically, a Royale in the cocktail world is anything with champagne added on top. And then I heard David Wondrich and a couple of other cocktail people on a podcast talking about a Chicago cocktail, which we did cover pretty recently. You can find it as a single video on our Instagram. Chicago cocktail is essentially an old-fashioned topped up with champagne. So I thought, what if we did a Wisconsin old-fashioned in a gussied up version because I like fancy drinks, and then we topped that up with the champagne and made that a Royale. So Wisconsin Royale came into being. It is a fantastically good cocktail, not just because I made it, but just because it was a freaking brilliant idea. All right, let's make it. So first thing we're gonna do is play with this glass that we don't need right now. And we're actually gonna cut. I kind of want to cut from the middle of the orange actually, Marius, because this is kind of small oranges and I need as much orange as I can get. All right, so I'm gonna do like a pretty thick cut piece of orange. I'm gonna cut this in half and we're gonna add this to a mixing glass. We're gonna take a cherry here and we're gonna add this in right here, like so. And now 4 dashes of Angostura bitters. I'm gonna do 1/4 ounce of Demerara Simple. We're gonna give this a good muddle, and what we're gonna try and do here is muddle the flesh of the orange while lightly expressing oil from the peel, but not muddling the peel too hard because we don't want too much bitterness. You know the deal. I don't know how many times I have to say it on this channel. And then we're gonna add in some brandy. I'm gonna use American brandy, of course, and I know that I should be using Corbel if we're making something a little bit more traditional to Wisconsin. I do not have Corbel, but I do have this Berthaud, and it is brilliant stuff. So we're gonna add 2 ounces of brandy, really brandy of your choice. If you wanna use cognac, you can use that as well. And give it a stir. Wow, this ice has kind of seen better days too. It's not the beautiful cold draft we usually use. I'm gonna glass here. And a big rock of pre-cut ice, which I'm gonna actually cut a little bit more because it's not fitting the way I want it to. Let's see. Oh, it's a little bit big, but much better. And then I am going to double strain this because it is a little bit too much. Hold on, where is my, I guess I can use a, oh, there it goes. Well, I am going to double strain this because there's a little bit of crushed up cherry in there and I want to keep as much of that out of the cocktail as possible. So we're just going to strain this like so over the rock of ice here. And what I have on hand here is Prosecco. So Prosecco is going to be a little bit sweeter and a little less dry than something like champagne. If you want to use champagne, that's fine. This is what I have on hand. I'm going to just pour this directly in here, but I'm not going to pour it over the ice because it's going to layer on top. So usually I would put this in first, but I didn't know how much volume was going to be displaced from the ice. So what I'm gonna do is just pour this on, but don't pour it over the ice or it's gonna layer on top. I'm just gonna pour it to the side here, straight into the cocktail, and just top it up like that with just a little champagne. You might wanna give the ice a little rotation to sort of combine. And then we're gonna garnish with a cherry. I think what we're gonna do is just like a smaller, simpler, just nondescript one here. Let's give it a go. That is so nice. It's like a little bit of effervescence, not a ton, but just like a little bit of effervescence there from the small amount of Prosecco that we put in there. The dryness of the Prosecco, the somewhat dryness, kind of tempers the sweetness of the Wisconsin Old Fashioned. It tastes like a Wisconsin Old Fashioned where you have the barrel notes of the brandy, and brandy is a pretty prominent flavor, but then you also have the cherry and the orange playing second fiddle there. It is not the most super complex thing in the world, but it is fantastically good. There it is, guys, the Wisconsin Royale. Tropical Fluff is a cocktail created by New York City bartender Fanny Chu for Donna in Brooklyn, which is one of my favorite New York City bars. It is a cocktail that answers the question, what if you took a jungle bird and put it into the context of a Garibaldi and kept it low proof? But first things first, Marius, did we forget something?
Are we talking about the...
Yes. I wanted to put, what?
Are we talking about the quote-unquote fallen zoni Garibaldi or that other Garibaldi, the one with the orange juice?
Oh no, the original one with the orange juice, okay. Yeah. The actual Garibaldi, not the fallen zoni / Garibaldi. Yeah, which is a confusing thing to name your cocktail, but what can you do? Anyway, what I forgot, not what you said, what I forgot was to put the low volume glass because this cocktail has no ice in it. So it's just, I need to put a low volume Collins glass in the freezer to pre-chill. It does have ice in here that we're gonna mix it with. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna grab our jigger here, clean it out from the last cocktail. And then we're gonna do 2 ounces of pineapple juice, okay? I'm gonna see, do you think I'll be able to get an ounce of orange juice out of this half of an orange?
Yeah.
Half an orange, you think? We'll do it. Will it be that and then some or just, let's see. Easily. 1 ounce orange juice. We don't need a ton of grapefruit juice here, so I'm just gonna, I don't know, cut it into quarters and then eat the grapefruit later. I mean, even that much grapefruit juice will probably give me an ounce.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it's probably an ounce and plus.
So we're gonna do half an ounce of grapefruit, 3/4 of an ounce of Aperol. I'm like dropping everything today. Ugh. Half an ounce of Jamaican rum, anything will do, but if you can get your hands on some Dr. Bird, it is preferable. It's nice and big and funky and 100 proof. And then we're gonna do half an ounce of the Gaffard Banana du Brazil. We're just gonna add a few cubes in here and give it a blend. When the ice is just about gone and your drink is sufficiently fluffy, we'll take our glass here that I did not chill properly, that you will 100% chill properly, and then we're just gonna throw it in here like so. All right, let's give this the old sipperoo. Cheers. Yeah. It's like a Garibaldi, but everything you want in a tropical drink at the same time. So here's the deal. You get the funkiness of the rum, right? And then you get that banana. You get all the juices, that nice juice mix. A little bit of the bitterness from the grapefruit playing in with the bitterness of the Aperol. Aperol's tempering the sweetness a little bit and giving it a little nice and complexity. It is 100% what happens when a Jungle Bird meets a Garibaldi, and it's fantastic. Do yourself a favor. This is your next brunch drink. So there it is, guys. The Tropical Fluff. The Cosmogroni is a mashup. I mean, do I really actually have to tell you what is a mashup? It's in the name. It's a Cosmo and a Negroni. I was created by bartender J.P. Featherston and Alex Levy for a bar called the Columbia Room in Washington, D.C. In a mixing glass, we are going to do full dropper of cranberry bitters here. Okay. We're gonna do a dropper of this acid phosphate as well.
That sounds delicious.
Don't knock it till you tried it. And this acid phosphate, you can get it on Instagram. You can also get it from the company, which is called Extinct Chemical Company. And I believe Modernist Pantry carries it. And if you live here in LA, you can go to Barkeeper and they carry it. Okay, let's get into the actual cocktail itself, shall we? Half an ounce of Cointreau. Half an ounce of Aperol, because I'm sure Campari would be a little too much for this and wash out some of the flavors. 1 ounce Citron Vodka. And an ounce of Bianco Vermouth. I mean, just specs-wise, and just like ingredients-wise, it really is a very perfect kind of cross between the Cosmo and the Negroni, so.
Well, it's like one of everything, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's like they didn't really like, I don't know, as far as like the tropical fluff, there's like banana in there that's not really in a Jungle Bird, but she got the kind of the essence of the Jungle Bird, you know what I'm saying? Like she put in other stuff, just interpreted the cocktail in a different way. Mm-hmm. But this one is like a very straight interpretation, which, I mean, I don't know if it's just like my OCD, but I kind of love a straight interpretation if it works. Right. Now for this, because it's sitting on a big rock of ice, just like the first one as well, you might want to under-stir it a little bit because it is going to be sitting on that big rock of ice. It is going to be diluting as it lives, so you want to make sure to give it a good mix, but just don't dilute to the fullest. And then just... Now, this doesn't call for it, but I am going to give this a twist because I feel like I want it to have the twist. Whether it's a Cosmo and a Negroni, I still feel like it needs a little orange essence. Cheers. Oh my God, that reads more like a Negroni than I thought it would. When the cranberry bitters comes through so much, the acid phosphate also gives it a little more punch. And then you've got like the Aperol's kind of pairing perfectly. You've got the the complexity, the kind of herbal complexity of the Bianco Vermouth, but the Bianco Vermouth is a little sweeter and a little less botanical than some other vermouth styles. Citron Vodka is a good call here. I'm glad that I put an orange twist on it because it's really good. That's all I got to say about it. I don't know. I didn't have a lot to say. It's fantastic. I think this is going to work this into my summer rotation 100% for stirred drinks. There it is, guys. The Cosmogroni.